Bronx River. The Bronx River is 23 miles long. It is the only freshwater river that runs to the heart of New York City. And as you can see, it's home to many migrating birds, turtles, ducks, fish, and a pair of residents by the name of Jose and Justin Bieber. As we come into our very first medal of the day, we are going to see absolutely nothing. Now, there's a small reason for that, folks. The axis deer, the white-bellied black-balled antelope, and the barracina deer who make their home here like to migrate to the left-hand side over that hill. So do not worry, we will definitely catch up with these guys in about 6 to 7 minutes, I do promise. Now, also home within this exhibit is India's national bird, the peafowl. You may be familiar with them here at your visit at the zoo because they are the only free-roaming animal. But did you know that only the males with the blue necks and beautiful back feathers are called peacocks? The females with their gray body and green necks are called peahens. And when they love each other very much, they have little baby peachocks. Now, you may notice a lot of these white sticks across Salona throughout the zoo. The reason why I mention them because these are the males' back feathers. This is an indication their breeding season is coming to a close and that these males in particular have already found their mate. They'll lose these feathers and grow them again next spring. So if you see a male with those back feathers still, please give the guy some encouragement and cheer him on. Hopefully he can find Lady Love before the season ends. Now, at the moment, my train is passing a pair of shacks. There's nobody home, and it's a 2-bedroom apartment, and half a bath, pool in the back, and rent $750. No, I'm just kidding, folks. But these shacks do have a very important conservation story that involve our barracina deer.
In 1970, there were estimated to be only 66 of the barracina deer remaining in central India. But this population was saved by the cooperation of the local Indian community. Like the shacks you see here, there were many small farms using space in and around India's Kanha National Park. These people were coming into contact with the deer and the tigers that were also living there. Through cooperation with the Indian government, local communities agreed to relocate their villages. By moving, the farmers still had land to farm, but the tigers and their prey got more room to roam.
Now, folks, as we all know, a species that is extinct no longer exists. Like the dinosaurs, the dodo bird, or my bank account for that matter. The next animal on our tour is considered extinct in nature, only found in captive breeding facilities, and they are called the Mongolian wild horses. Now, they are the only true wild horses in the world. They were never domesticated by man for any reason. And as you can see, there are some physical differences with these guys compared to the domestic horses we are familiar with. They got shorter legs, more stockier, muscular body, and an erect mane that goes from the back of their heads to the top of their shoulders, and it kind of looks like a haircut Mr. T would approve of. Bye. And there are some genetic differences as well, but of course we cannot see that with the naked eye. Now again, these horses were never domesticated by man, but they do have a long, and rich history that does involve us. So here's some information about it as we slowly climb to the top of the hill.
The first accounts of Mongolian wild horses come from rock engravings, paintings, and even cave drawings that date back more than 20,000 years. And the first written accounts were from Tibet, sometime around 900 AD. But these horses remained largely unknown and unnamed to the Western world for many years. During an expedition to Central Asia in 1879, a famous Russian explorer and naturalist, Colonel Nikolai Przewalski, encountered the horse in western Mongolia. Because of his discovery, this species...
As we did mention, these horses were considered extinct in nature and only found in captivity, and the captive breeding of these animals began back in 1901 with 28 animals, and the Bronx Zoo received their first herd a year later in 1902. And there have been reintroductions of these horses back into Mongolia and China from zoos in North America and Asia, so we're very happy to say the reintroductions are going quite well. Alright, I really hope this train can make it up to the top of the hill. I think I can. As we come into our next exhibit, we are going to be on the lookout for two very vulnerable species out in Asia. And they are called the brown antlered deer and the gaur. Although professional food researchers do find it difficult to spot the animals they like to research in the wild, today on our tour, I'll do my very best to help pinpoint these in the distance. I have the majority of the herd sitting out pretty much in front of me, but towards the back end of the exhibit. So just look straight ahead, a little bit to your right. You can start seeing a few of them coming into view. Don't worry, the land does get flatter as we go on forward. As we begin to go on forward, look to your far right. We're going to see some large individuals coming into view. And again, they are called the gaur, and that's spelled Now, the one difference between male and female garras are female garras have curved horns that go towards the inside. You know, ladies have the curve. Those horns look like two crescent moons. And males have horns that stick up straight at the tip, kind of like in an L shape. And that's a pretty good close-up look of some of our galler. Kind of right underneath the tracks on the right hand side. I'm gonna go slow. Hopefully me going slow over her will allow her to maybe move out back into the middle of the exhibit. Now she's only down there because she knows it's close to closing time and she wants to go home. I do not blame her. Now again, she's a Malayan tiger, one of the smallest subspecies of tiger that we do have here at the Bronx Zoo. We have Siberian tigers here as well, and they double in size. Now, tigers are very secretive and solitary animals, and this is why we only have a tiger to monitor our exhibit at any given time. They are aggressive about their territory, so we don't want these guys fighting. But we do have more tigers at Tiger Mountain. They're a little younger, and they were able to keep more of them up close and together without them ever fighting. So again, if you want to see more tigers, by all means, visit Tiger Mountain here. They're hanging out back here, and as well as the Barrasinga there, and I see some of the black buck antelope out in the distance. We got the axes there in the front. They have the bright white spots, and we have the white-bellied black buck antelope right here, right above him. There's even an alpha male to the back right. He has a much darker coloration to him. Now, the axes, they keep those bright white spots on their bodies their entire lives. They never lose those spots even as adults. Most normal-reduced species are born with spots, but they fade as they mature. And the axes, they've been displayed here at the Bronx Zoo ever since 1899 when the zoo first opened up. Now in the back you saw the black buck antelopes. They're the smallest antelope in Asia, but pretty fast as well. They clock in about 30 miles an hour. Now right next to this whole road here, up and down the road, we actually got the alpha Barrasinga there male as well. These are the individuals. We have the conservation story about with those huts. Sorry about that, folks. Got a little radio traffic. Now, the word Barrasinga means 12 tine, or 12 pointed in the Hindi language, because the males can have anywhere from 12 to 14 points on their antlers. And come on, P-Foul, get off my track. I don't want to run you over. Now, as we go forward, we're going to come into a small section called the bamboo forest. Now, try to imagine a pig with tusks that erupt through his snout and curve towards his eyes, and that pig is called a babarusa. And the word babarusa means pig deer in the Malay language, because the Malays believe they were deer antlers that came up through the pig's mouth. And right in front of me, going to the left, is our male buck, and drink over 60 gallons of water each and every single day. And elephants have a very important tool, and that is their trunks, folks. No bones in them, but they do have over 40,000 muscles, more than the entire human body. In Asian elephants specifically, you got a finger-like index on the tip of the trunks, which allow them to pick up anything as small as a blade of grass. Right, and there's going to be another one to help keep her skin nice and cool, comfortable, and protected. So if the kids do the same thing, don't blame them. They're only doing what nature intended. Now, despite, well, not that good. Caring for rhinos is one thing, folks, but breeding is a whole other challenge. But we're happy to say here at the Bronx Zoo, we've had 13 baby rhinos born here within the generations of the zoo, with another female rhino by the name of Penny. She had a baby girl April 6th of this year. That was the number 13 baby overall, but the second baby in Penny's life. Now that baby's over just about 7 months old now and weighs in at over 500 pounds. It's still growing. Now, since I'm on the topic of babies, here is an interesting fact, especially those who are moms, mothers-to-be, or grandmas. You can take this to heart. Indian rhinos are not pregnant for 9 months. They are pregnant for 16 months. That is a year. I gotta slow down. I got a green light. They are the largest antelope in Asia. As we saw the white-bellied black bucks, they were the smallest antelope, and again, these guys are the largest. They weigh in at about 600 pounds, standing 5.5 feet tall at the shoulders as well, but also the fastest, clocking in at 40 miles an hour. They all got antelopes who have black and white hair above the hooves. The rivers, folks, they were snapping turtle, catfish, and carp, and many other schools of fish. And the river has undergone great rejuvenation. Great rejuvenation within the last 10 years, thanks to the Wildlife Conservation Society and the Bronx River Alliance. And WCS knows how important these rivers are to wildlife and Bronx residents alike. So if you'd like to learn more on how to protect the rivers, by all means, take a walk over to the